Yo, 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 what's going on? Welcome to the first ever Speakeasy podcast with my man JB right here. I'm Joey Sypher, and welcome guys. Welcome to our first podcast.
Super stoked.
This is going to be pretty cool. We'll be throwing different topics out, and we'll just be bullshitting with y'all and just letting you know what's on our mind about things, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
We always got to watch what we talk about, so this podcast has to be edited sometime.
Yeah. It's going to have to be edited.
Yeah, I'll start going on a rant.
Cut you off.
Yeah.
You might see little clips of like JB talking and all of a sudden it's like a different subject or like it's me cutting in. We're cutting it out. It's all good.
And you'll know what happened. You'll be like, oh, he started just talking.
And he started rambling.
Yeah.
Normally we don't edit though, right? Like we
None.
just run it straight, like all our ELC videos, and they're pretty cool because everybody, like even our guests are like, oh, no cuts?
No cuts.
Dry run.
If
we
you
mess
come
up,
in-
we mess up.
Yeah, when you come in to do a podcast, you're in the hot seat for real. You don't know what's going to be talked about. You don't know what's going to be asked.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people that have done podcasts
Yeah,
like this before,
yeah,
the videos,
super cool.
the ELC videos and stuff, because there is no upcuts, there's no edits. It's game time.
Yeah, yeah. There's no test runs of like
Yeah.
trying to get your sound or nothing.
Nothing.
You just gotta be prepared.
And so sitting here, I'm even like weirded out now. I'm like, oh, this is how our clients feel? Like, this is staring at a camera. I'm like, oh.
You're like in a different position. These five are mine. These 10 are yours.
Where's my phone?
Call my girl.
Yeah.
Inside joke. We'll probably come to that one later.
Yeah, we definitely can't talk about that one yet. We have to talk about that one later.
25 years on statute of limitations on that one, and we can talk about that.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. You're going to hear a lot of that in this podcast, too, I think. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some funny stuff, I think.
Yeah. There's been a lot of crazy stuff that's happened in this last, 6 months, 9 months that we've been kind of like getting the grind and getting everything going and trying to prepare for April and getting all our ducks in a row. And
then just like we get broadcast out on the media, so people think they know what's going on in the whole situation. And
we're getting phone calls. Yeah, business okay.
Yeah. We heard you guys got arrested in Guadalajara somewhere.
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck is everybody talking about?
One of your boys from one of the smoke shops called you, Sypher okay?
Yeah. 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 If you know, you know on that one too.
Yeah.
Sypher all right? I'm like, hey man, I answered the phone. I'm like, what about me? Oh, no. Sypher good? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been crazy. It's been a wild ride this past few months.
And then our families see it in the news too.
Yeah.
Get calls from
and then
grandmas.
families get all crazy and they don't know what's going on because obviously we don't put everybody on game with our full plan on how we're trying to conquer the world like Pinky and Brain, right? But you know.
But it was just I think just so everybody knows this from us, it was a fight for everybody.
Yeah.
This was the whole, it wasn't trying to go around the system. It wasn't trying to do anything like that. We did it legally. We did it by the book, and we did it for the people.
Yeah.
So when you get to this point.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
so we don't have to pull outside investors in. You know what I mean? We were trying to do it so we can fund ourselves and get ourselves going, and we can do it all local. You know.
And I think that's what the law was literally intended on when it went with these other states.
Oh yeah, well,
get it started.
Those other states that enacted like the gifting laws and like did all that, they did it so they can get their feet on the ground and get them up and running, and they don't have to get backing by these corporate big money and you know what I mean, and sell out.
Business.
And I think when New Mexico wrote their law, they took these pieces from other states and they put it in their bill, and they didn't quite know what they're dealing with when they put it in, and all of us that had done the research and been in other states
been
and a part of the movement in other states knew what it was, and I think that kind of whole pan situation.
It was a big one. 2 M's is what we figured out. There was 2 M's.
There was 2 M's. Pam with 2 M's.
Yeah, that's what the whole problem was there. But you can see our phones have been blowing up this last month as they start issuing licenses out in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And we can see that the people, pretty much 99.999% of the people that didn't take advantage of the gifting situation before it was changed and doing all that, they're struggling right now. They're freaking out.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're going to get product from. We're in a situation where people are calling us. They don't even know where to get display cases from.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. There's a couple shops that are getting up and going, and we'll keep names private, but they don't even have display cases. You know, they're what POS systems are using. They're calling Square, and Square's like, we don't deal with retail marijuana. Like that whole
Yeah, medical's like, oh, well, we use BioTrack, so we need to get on BioTracks, and then they won't even set you up in that situation.
Until you have a retail.
Yeah, it's just people are literally running around trying to.
They're frantic right now.
Yeah,
they're frantic.
That's the word.
I mean, they're trying to figure out like, you know, the classes that they're going to implement, and like all the like the training for like bud tenders and like, you know, the production technician side of everything, and like labeling and all that. Like we don't even know going into that. So everybody, I mean, like at least everybody who we're working with has a good jump on their store and has everything going to where I feel like we're in one of the best positions going into April. You know what I mean?
It's been hard, but we got ourselves.
Other than like maybe like the producer side or getting, you know, that whole thing, that whole situation going on like with product and everything coming in. But like as far as like retail, I feel like our team has got like the biggest jump on everything, and you know what I mean?
And not just us personally, but the whole team. They're going to see a whole bunch of economic boom, and we were really excited to work with all those people. You guys all know who you are.
Yeah.
And I feel like the state really came around too, as far as working with us on getting stuff established,
you know what?
And getting it going.
It was a little rocky at first, but the state has really come around and it's been helpful with our team with like answering emails and like phone calls and getting back to them and seeing if there was anything else they needed for like retail side or like licensing.
Anything. And just being able to answer questions, because the city municipalities and the counties are so far behind. Like, they don't even have their final laws, rules, regulations kind of established in about 80% of the cities and counties in the whole state. Not just Las Cruces, the whole state. And so it's I just don't want to see the economy that this is about to provide go down. So if everybody else steps it up, we can really be functioning April 1st. Because as of right now, I don't know, this is my personal opinion, April 1st is going to be a complete shit show.
I think there'll maybe be one or two shops that'll be fully set up and like able to open in April. And I think our team has one of them, you know, going into it. And it's going to be a total frenzy. You know what I mean? With what are the numbers in Doñana County, like people who like smoke, and not including like Sunland Park and El Paso and all them that are going to come across, because we've seen that with the whole gifting, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just going to be crazy come April. I mean, so it's not April 1st, it's April 2nd. They have till April 1st to move it. So April 2nd, I think we're going to see like lines out the doors, like waiting for hours, like what we saw when Arizona came out, and like California first did it, like Colorado for like lines built up, like people in the snow, like I mean, April won't be cold hopefully, but I mean, we do have some pretty crazy windy conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, and then hopefully we know like one or two, hopefully that we can get open by that time, and then the rest of the people that we're working with, they just started out late. It's not any fault of their own.
Yeah.
And for any business owners too that think like the cannabis industry is like, oh, this plant's just gonna come down out of nowhere and rap music and Snoop Dogg's gonna show up.
The Brinks truck backs up.
It is not like that at all. The Brinks truck is driving 100 miles an hour in the other direction with everybody's money that they've dumped into this to get it set up. Yeah. We don't know where that money's gone. It's just, it's kind of crazy, but for those business owners out there, this has been rough.
Yeah.
This last 6-8 months has been super rough for all the business owners.
And I think like that, and then coming into the winter, you know what I mean, with like supply shortages and like packaging shortages, and like it's just making that rough spot even more harder to like overcome and get through. And we knew going into the winter, I think that was our biggest thing. We got to get through the winter. We got to get through the winter. And this winter's been rough, man. Just, I don't know, shop level to like seeing everybody get everything going to like the whole back end of things. Like it's just everybody's having a hard time. So everybody just keep your heads up, keep in the fight, keep on grinding. That's all I can say. And we'll get through it. You know what I mean? Like these times don't last forever. You know, there's always going to be sunshine shining on the end of the rainbow. It's going to be tight.
And for the consumers out there also, bear with these shops when they open on April 2nd, because they're fighting right now just to even find a package to put your medicine in.
Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Ask any of the people that you know that are trying to get into this cannabis industry. do you guys even have packaging yet? And 99% of them are going to tell you no. So just bear with everybody as they get this open, because it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's gonna be way difficult.
It's going to be
you know what I mean?
difficult.
It's
Definitely
packaging
worth
and
it.
Product, you know.
Definitely
But,
worth it.
Yeah, definitely gonna be worth it, and there's just gonna be a couple hiccups going into this first year of this, you know, new wave and new industry. But I think once we get all the kinks wired out and fixed out, I think it's gonna be great. You know what I mean? It's gonna be great for the economy. It's gonna be great for consumers, and everybody smokes. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen that.
It's just crazy to think too that we're 2 months away from building an economy that could realistically bring in $250 million a year to this
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
$250 million boost. That's
Yeah.
the financial injection New Mexico needed
Yeah.
to start going in the right
And
direction.
hopefully that money goes to the right resources, like our education and healthcare and all the stuff that we're all last in the country. You know what I mean? And I hope that boosts everything up, like the infrastructure and roads.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
education, roads. And you can look at it even driving through New Mexico. This is not a bash on New Mexico session. This is legitimate why the state passed this. And so
Yeah,
shout
we
out
need
to the
it.
state on
We
that.
really need it. Yeah.
You can be driving through and then driving to Rincon, for example.
Right.
That's Rincon, right?
Yeah.
When you're driving out in those hills and those
Yeah,
crazy
yeah, yeah.
hills, and that's another story
Raton.
for later. Raton.
Yeah.
And the potholes and how bad the roads are, and then as soon as you hit the Colorado border,
Oh, that transition from Colorado to New Mexico on that mountain is just crazy. Like night and day. Like Colorado is just smooth roads, and
yeah,
that's hitting that mountain coming into New Mexico around that curve, and you're like, oh, and then it's just, oh shit, what Colorado?
Hey, now we're in Colorado, and it's
Crazy.
flat, which is
Yeah,
also kind of
yeah.
weird. Like, that's a whole
John
other-
Denver's.
Yeah, that John Denver's full of shit. But so seeing the economy and the boost from it, I think is going to be super cool,
Yeah.
super dope. The city definitely needs it.
Yeah, I think the whole state needs it for sure, and especially our city. You know, if the state's last and everything, and Diana County's last in the state, where does that put us? You know what I mean? That puts us pretty low, like on a whole
Yeah, it's not hard to figure out.
nationwide. You know?
The good thing for cruises, from a Doñana County standpoint, and I think even also in Otero County standpoint, if they set up their facilities and everything the right way, that $250 million, let's say, that it brings in or whatever, a good majority of that I think is going to come to the southern states, because we have El Paso right there.
Yeah.
So we're up north, they're generating income just off their general population.
Yeah.
We have a whole nother state's
Yeah.
income possibly coming in. So we're adding basically 1.6 million people to the chance to sell them retail cannabis.
Yeah.
With El Paso being right there.
Yeah, it's
surrounding
crazy.
areas.
Just with Texas right there, and I think somebody threw the numbers at me of like Sunland or like Anthony. There's like almost 1 million people in that.
like a
Sure.
20-mile radius.
Yeah,
or
and that
something
20-mile
crazy.
radius, it's like, it's crazy. And we know that whole side's gonna be booming. Like, we've been talking with the project managers and the land developers out there, and that whole structure they're doing out by the racetrack is gonna be crazy. So there's gonna be a big boom in
Right.
Sunland Park and like Anthony and all that.
And they're also booming. It's not just going to be a big boom on just cannabis locations. They're putting in a new hotel out there.
Yeah,
They're
amphitheater.
they're doing restaurants are
Yeah.
getting built. The whole
Breweries.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
The brewery.
Yeah,
Brewery, bed and breakfast, all that stuff.
smoke
going on.
lounge for cannabis, cannabis retail shops, and
Super cool.
it's gonna be crazy, man. Like,
That was the other stat that we heard too, because we considered just El Paso, and no one ever thought across the border there's also 1.4 million people right
why
there
is-
waiting to come over to purchase.
yeah, and I thought weed was easily accessible in
And it's
in
legal
Mexico.
there.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, they're like looking at us like we're behind the times, and I guess everybody's still trying to get over here to get the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's just the craft growing
Yeah.
and the stuff that's coming in the United States. It's just like breweries, how popular they got in the last 5-6 years. Well, craft cannabis and medicine is now, people want
right,
something great.
right. Yeah, so it's crazy to just everything that's coming our way and the state's way, and for the people. I think that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
all you guys out there and get to reap all the benefits, and
The jobs that it's going
Yeah.
to create is just going to be huge. Advertising, marketing companies are going to be on a boost.
security companies.
Security companies, delivery services, so many small businesses will benefit from the local construction, local tourism. They call it the green tourism. And don't just take our word for it. You can do a simple Google search on this and look at the other states that have gone retail. Look at Oklahoma. So Oklahoma went 2 years ago. Pull up all their stats of what they did. And then another state, I always forget who it is, that just went rec. And we were talking about it 2 weeks ago.
Illinois, right?
Was it Illinois? It was somewhere different. And it was like in a weekend they did like $17 million opening weekend.
It was crazy the revenue they brought in, but I want to say it was Illinois or I could be wrong. It was something like that though.
Something crazy.
But yeah, they brought in a wicked amount. Missouri?
Well, Missouri or Montana?
Missouri, Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Missouri, I think. And yeah, dude, 17 million for the weekend, like that's wild. So I think on some aspects where they're saying like the economy is like it's going back in recession or it's going on downhill, like I think people have money, they're just want to only apply it in certain,
where they need it, maybe.
Yeah, where they need it, for the medicine or like I think we had the puff and paint a couple nights ago.
Super fun.
And we were talking to Bobby Boulevard about it, and I think you made a great point where you said, people, you're a great example. You have a family, 5?
Yeah.
It's cheaper. How you put it in the great perspective, like about going to Baskin Robbins and
so if we go out to dinner, with inflation and everything where it's at, it's an $80 tab.
Yeah.
It's an $80 tab when you go out to dinner. And it would be more, but my son's like 2.
Yeah.
So he doesn't eat that much. But it's still an $80 tab. It's still $8 for that kid's meal. And so to go to dinner or to go to a Baskin Robbins and you're dropping a $100 bill, at this time you might as well buy a $10 movie on Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or whatever.
Buy your smoke.
Yeah, and buy some treats for the kids on the way home, and then buy your medicine after that and sit home and chill. It's just, and plus I think depression really starts to kick in this last 2 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that didn't know they were facing depression, didn't know they have anxiety. This last 2 years they're trying to cope with it and they don't know how to self-diagnose themselves or whatever. And so they try cannabis for the first time and they're like, I'm actually able to relax right now for a second.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot.
We've seen, a ton. People that we would never have thought about, friends and family members, going to get their medical cards and going to do these things. It's been huge. So why spend $100 going out when we can spend $20 staying in?
Yeah, and I think that reflects on how there's money available and people are just got to be picky and choosy on how they want to spend their money. Like Bobby Boulevard made a great point that night. Yeah, I'll spend $40 on a bag and just eat at home or pick, okay, tonight I won't go out to eat or I won't eat as much, but I'll get my medicine and I'll smoke and have a good time. Like the money's there, they just want to allocate it into different ways. Like nobody's going out to eat at restaurants anymore. Like, and that's been a thing. Like we went out a couple nights. Well, we go out to eat quite a bit, and just overall, like morale has like gotten down. Like you can tell, not even like workers want to work there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that reflects like nobody wants to go out and eat more, and they're just allocating their money to different.
It's like a vicious freaking cycle where people aren't wanting to go out to eat, so the restaurants aren't able to afford to pay the servers more because business is down.
Yeah.
But now morale's down because they're not getting paid. Yeah. So they're not doing a greatest job as they should because they're really not into it. Their heart's not into it like they used to be. And then so now people definitely don't want to come because they're like, well, I'm going to get bad service.
Yeah.
And so everybody just freezes.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are we going to do?
It sucks being like no, I know it's off topic, but like from coming from the restaurant industry and being back of the house and chef and culinary expert and front of the house, I've served and bartended and done all that, server professional and all that, and like that's my passion, you know what I mean? I think worked so hard within the years, like my body broke down, but to see it from a consumer standpoint and you used to be there and to have that love and passion for it, it sucks to see it breaking down, dude. Like, especially like some of my favorite spots that I like to go to and I like to eat, have a good time after work, and it's not even worth going anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you can see that it triggers you. We've even brought it up and talked about it while we're sitting there eating.
yeah,
Like, this is not how it should be from
Yeah.
both standpoints.
yeah.
From both standpoints, and then you got to kind of be like, well, what are you gonna do? They're getting paid nothing,
Yeah.
and there's nobody in here. But then you also know from a GM standpoint of being a head corporate chef, like,
Yeah.
you got to get their head of the game because that's
Yeah.
what brings them more
And
money.
you always got to have that one person to like bring morale back up, and like a good coach. You
Yeah.
always need a good coach on the team to like rally the troops and all right, team, let's go. Let's get on the head in the game. And I would do little things like for my staff and like bring them in Red Bulls or bring them in candy or have reward them in a way, like make food for them or make a staff meal for them to like show them, hey, I know it sucks out there, but I got you back here. To
That's
where
That's super cool.
they would treat the kitchen well, or treat the staff well, or like everybody would get along for the most part. You know what I mean?
And then it reflects on service.
Yeah, I mean, and then they
It
go back onto
reflects
the
all the
floor and they're happy and they're able to communicate with their guests and they just don't want to take an order and just get out. You know what I mean? Like they're fed, they're not hangry. You know what I mean? They have an energy drink, they got some caffeine in them to get them through the rest of the shift. You know what I mean? Like Starbucks, whatever. But you need that one good leader in those restaurants and those establishments to bring back the team. And I feel like all those leaders are leaving. Like
Right.
they're all the old school chefs in the game, like that have gotten trained old school, and they just don't want to be in the game no more. And I'm doing it on a different aspect, and we're trying to get this situated for our future lives. And I think a restaurant, something I'd be going back to in the future. But just right now, it's just.
Still a little burnt out.
Yeah.
Well,
I work my ass off.
It's nice to know you have a passion for something where you can jump back in and be like, hey, I'm not going to stay here and do this for the rest of my life, but I'll help you out for the next 6 months. Let's get this team.
I thought about it. If like
consulting, like kitchen consulting.
If some of my old spots coming back and they're like, hey man, we need you. I told you, I was like, I might go back to you. You're a fool.
We also definitely, sometimes we feel like we need a break from the cannabis business too, though. But I can see it just from the videos that we've done with ELC and I've never been in the back, I've never worked in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And my attitude, I would freak lose my shit. Like
You had me screaming at you on the cooking videos, and you're like, I don't know, am I doing this right?
Yeah, I can't tell what color these carrots are.
Yeah. These carrots?
Are these carrots or green beans?
Yeah.
Colorblind with oranges and red. But we used to go do a video at the restaurants and stuff, and it's actually kind of sad because you can go back and look at them.
Yeah.
You have tangible evidence we can go back
Yeah.
and see how happy it was. Like
Yeah.
restaurant staff coming out and like always going to Zia Cafe. No matter what's
Yeah.
going on in the world, Zia Cafe, hey,
Yeah,
what's
they
up,
always come
guys?
out, say what's
Yeah.
up, handshakes.
And you can see everywhere else it's just on a slow downswing. Like even when we do a video and someone shares it to curbside and people, oh, that food was great, or oh, that service was awesome, and that was an awesome Thursday night.
Yeah.
We're not seeing those comments
Yeah.
anymore. Like morale is low in the city. If you
Yeah.
if there was a meter over the city, and this is a video game, I don't know why they don't put it in.
Yeah.
Put a meter over the city with the morale level, and so we can just pick it up. You know what I mean?
Ken doesn't want that smoke though.
Yeah,
He knows his approval rating is pretty
Ken doesn't want any of that smoke, and he doesn't want anybody else to buy smoke. He proved that trying to do this legislation.
Yeah.
But we won.
Yeah. I was gonna make a comment, but I'm gonna hold that one for off camera. We'll save that for later, folks. We'll save that for later. Yeah. I don't want him after me like he's after you.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, it's been wild. It's been a crazy.
Hey, you can call me. Sorry.
Let him know. Let him know.
I mean, you can call me and you can talk to me.
You guys have each other's numbers, right? Like, you guys have talked before. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are like, I've seen a picture with you and him, like, side by side. Like, you guys are homies.
Well, then he told me not to post it after.
I don't want to get caught hugging this.
Yeah, this future man, that's gonna be fun. No, we even did the ELC videos when we're doing the magic shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Personally, I have nothing against Ken. I just think it's a new era, not only in politics, in economy, in leadership, in everything, and it's like if Troy Aikman tried to get signed by the Cowboys right now. You're like, yeah, man, you were good back in the day, but we've kind of moved on. It's a different game now. You wouldn't last in this game. And so it's no offense.
Yeah.
It's just time
but
to step
it
forward.
seems like he has a personal vendetta against you, though. I mean, you said you have nothing with him, which is cool, but it seems like his attack with you is pretty personal. Yeah, you get all riled up. So I poked the bear a little bit, guys.
Yeah, people get scared at shit that they don't understand.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard for the community to understand what's going on, and sometimes they just have to have faith that, oh, this is going to change the economy. You guys will have jobs. Yeah. And even a parent that has a 23-year-old kid, let's say, that parent might be against cannabis for reasons they don't even understand why.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They might not know it cures cancer.
Programmed in their head.
Yeah, it's programmed. Reefer Madness since 1935 programmed us to do this.
They're great scare.
And it was racist.
Yeah.
It was racist towards Mexicans and African Americans.
Yeah.
And so it's programmed in their mind that this is wrong. But you got to also think when your 23-year-old kid comes home and they don't have a job, they're staying at home, they have no future career, and they literally look at you and are like, I'm thinking about applying and moving out of this city to get a job, and the parent's like, no. Of course, the Mexican parent, no, mijo, you gotta stay here.
Yeah.
That cannabis industry is gonna give that person a chance to go to college, have a side job, work, and do those things. So people get freaked out by what they don't understand. So they try to pull business licenses, they try to throw trafficking charges, they try to do all that stuff, but in the long run, if you're doing it the right way, you win.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. We won.
Yeah. We're seeing that. We're seeing that
we
already. So, it's crazy.
He's crazy. The whole politics thing, running for politics, is going to be.
Yeah, and I knew politics was bad because my grandpa was in politics, and kind of growing up, I seen a lot of it.
Big person in politics, so you saw like real in-depth politics.
And I would hear stories, and we got some crazy stories, but didn't ever think like, I don't know. And then, but now seeing it firsthand, like us and like the business and like the trials and like, business license trials and like all that, like it's like, I mean, it's real life, you know what I mean? Like, just on how everything added up and just when the charges were put out, when you announced for your mayor run, and then the charges, you know what I mean? Like a week later, they filed for the charges. Like, come on, guys, like at least try to like make it seem like they're blamed about it. You know what I mean? Like they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care at all.
Yeah.
And it's.
I mean, if you got the money, right? I mean, money controls.
What do they care?
Yeah, what do they care?
What do they care?
Yeah.
And just with the politics thing too, how it runs everything for small business owners here. We're talking about these situations as examples, but even outside of the cannabis industry, go ask a small business owner how hard it is right now to succeed with the rules and regulations placed on by the city, and they're all going to tell you the same thing. It's difficult.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the cannabis industry, and then it goes into them focusing on a small business like ours, as opposed to the homeless person with a needle hanging out of his arm in front of an office. So an older lady gets out of the car, not to go into our location, but to go into another location, a hobby location. I'm not going to say the name. To go into a hobby location, and it's an older lady, and we happen to be standing outside, and she gets out of her car. That person is laying 6 feet in front of the door she's trying to go into. She gets back in her car and leaves because she doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
And so politics controls everything.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
And if he's checked out, if your head coach is checked out,
there's not much. Yeah, there's not much you can do. Yeah, the team just kind of crumbling from there. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what's happening.
So we're seeing it crumble. Kitchen industry, just every industry, we see it. We see talking to people. I don't know, trying to get a refund on a bill or whatever the case is. Talking to your insurance company, trying to file a claim.
Yeah.
Nobody cares anymore.
Everybody
is upset on the other end of that phone or the person you're talking to.
Don't say insurance, that triggers me.
Yeah.
That is true for. But yeah, same thing, like everywhere, every industry is just, nobody cares. Yeah. I think one thing I'm tired of, and I know I shouldn't be, and I take the situation very seriously, but like when they blame it on COVID. Oh, it's COVID. And it's like, come on, like, we've been dealing with this for 2 years already. Like, let's just be better. Let's just get better about it. Like, I feel like they just use, like, it's an excuse now. I mean, like, oh, due to COVID, like, I know there's times where, you know, people get sick and family members get sick and you have to close down and there are circumstances that happen, you know what I mean?
It's
But to
happened to us since
blatantly,
last month.
oh yeah, 100% within our close families, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to just blatantly, like, use it as an excuse as a business, like, I
Can't.
think it's unacceptable, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta do better. Like, everybody has to do better.
Yeah, everybody has to do better. Everybody just stay more positive and
Yeah.
we'll make it through. This is not the worst case scenario.
People
you
gotta
know?
start vibing higher, bro.
High vibing for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Like this today's gonna be a good day, and I know it sounds so stupid, like so cliche to when you get up and look in the mirror to say, hey, Tam, have a good day. But put the people around you too that are
Yeah.
gonna help you have a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Us being best friends and then also being business owners, we have to fight to have a good day. You know what I mean? Because one of us is gonna get triggered on something, whether it's business, personal life,
Yeah.
friends. Something's gonna happen that's gonna make that cause a bad day. But being able to separate ourselves from the situation, and going, we're good.
Yeah. I tell you all the time, it's a video game.
It could
dog.
be worse. It could be
Don't worry, it's a video game.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
It's just a video game.
That's how you have to think of life. It's just a video game.
You're just a role player in a video game.
It's just a video game. It's just a giant Grand Theft Auto we're running around and we're characters in. Think about it. Let that sit in for a little bit. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. That's what I tell you all the time. It's just a video game. Don't let it bother you.
Yeah, this is just a level in the video
It's
game.
just a harder
We're gonna
level
get past it.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get an easy level, sometimes you get a harder level. I heard this a while back, and I was cooking in Thousand Oaks, California, and had this line cook he would open in the morning, and I would come in like at 10, and I think I don't even remember his name. And anyways, and he always told me, I was at, hey, how you doing? How's it going this morning? It's good. Just a video game. I never got what that meant. I'm like, that's cool. Like, and then I started thinking of it on like that level, like, oh yeah, work is just a video game. So I always treated like work and like cooking on the line or like cooking in a restaurant is just a video game. And then applying that same aspect to like life. Because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And like seeing it's just a video game.
Yeah, definitely. And how you vibe on it can affect what happens outside, and it could make it go to a super negative day.
Oh yeah,
real quick, just based on your
100%.
own personal attitude.
Yeah.
And then I think people need to understand too, like we've been in the media business for a long time, and I know we say it on videos and people don't really comprehend it, but over 6 million people see these beautiful faces and these big teeth. I knew he was gonna love that. See, we're high vibing
Big
right
ass
now.
toothbrush to clean those teeth. Look at.
Yeah, I say something funny about me. Now he's high vibing. For the day. We got this.
We got this.
Teamwork makes the dream work. But we've been in the media. Media feeds off your negativity.
Oh, they love it.
So
They
you're
eat
sitting
it
here
up.
on your phone and you're scrolling, right? You're just sitting here scrolling, and you see people with happy faces and thumbs up, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And you keep scrolling, and then you see
The cheese man.
a sad person, or my life sucks, or a mean face, or whatever. You immediately click and read what that person
Read the
is
comments.
going through, and read the comments, who's talking shit, all this other stuff. You should have liked the person that had the thumbs up, and you should have asked them, hey man, thanks for vibing high today, I'm going to have a good day too.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, I do it also. At 4 o'clock, I know I'm going to pull up my phone, and I know I'm going to go to KOB4, and I'm going to look at all the COVID cases for today, and then I'm going to call Syph, be like, Syph, there were 7,000 COVID cases today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into 8,500 troops are going to Russia, and ask
Go down the rabbit hole.
yeah, and then ask the little dude, hey man, you know what the draft is? Like all that,
Yeah,
it's just going to
yeah,
be crazy.
yeah.
Just put it down.
Yeah. Don't
Just
let yourself
put
get in
it
that hole.
down.
You know, rise above it. You know, just don't listen to social media. Don't read the comments. Don't read the negative stuff. That's going to bring you down because that translates onto your life. And then negative stuff will happen to you, bad stuff, and just vibe high. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. And you can feel it coming from other states too. We have a couple people that we work with in Oregon, one in particular. Every morning, I know on Facebook, even if I'm mad at him and he's mad at me, whatever is going on, every morning on Facebook, I know he's going to have a positive message.
That's good morning, world.
Yeah, and it's always good morning world.
Yeah.
It's either a funny joke or the
Posting
Joey
about
Diaz,
medicine.
the Joey Diaz video that was going around.
Yeah.
Grab life by the balls today. You know what I mean? it's always going to be something good, and we just all got to work better at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just come in and jump on a podcast like we decided. We've been talking about this last week. We're like, we just need to go talk.
Yeah.
Just go talk, you know?
That's it. That's all this podcast is.
Yeah, and let people know interesting, funny
Yeah.
stuff that's going
That's
on.
going on.
And we're also going to be bringing in like people that have got their license soon, and
talking to different people about where they're at, at that point, before April, and kind of just seeing where everybody is, and just kind of touching base with everybody. I think that would be kind of cool to bring people in and just see.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty good first day and first podcast. Thanks for joining in and hanging out with us.
It's
And
new studios.
I hope we didn't rant on too long, and stay tuned for the next one. Joey, Sypher, JB, thanks folks, appreciate it.